I shot my first music video and I thought I was gonna have to give up. What went well, what didn't, and how did we almost get arrested? We didn't. But that would have been cool. Hi, my name is Colin Fry, and I'm a creative professional from Jacksonville, Florida. I like saying creative professional so that I don't have to explain like photography, video, graphic design, and you could say marketing if you want your grandparents to think you have a real job too, so that works. This video has taken me a while to come out with, so please subscribe so you can see and stay up to date with all the things that I'm involved in. If you don't, that's cool too. Like, me personally, I wouldn't understand how it feels to be in your shoes. I wouldn't want to force you to do that as someone who isn't lame. I wouldn't want to pressure you into being cool. So it's like you hate me or something. So I've been making YouTube videos for the past several years on different channels. And one of my favorite parts is the stuff I do behind the camera. That would be like the planning, the editing, and just making sure that our story is told visually in a really cool way. The problem that I ran into was that in order to take things to that next step from YouTube skit maker to a real like videographer and filmmaker was to get some portfolio work under my belt. But there's the catch. In order to get portfolio work, I need to get jobs. And in order to get jobs, I usually need portfolio work. Video projects aren't cheap. Nobody's gonna drop money on somebody who doesn't really have anything to show for it. It could take months to just find somebody who'd be willing to... Huh. I've known Jordan Blackburn for as long as I can really remember. We grew up together, even going as far back as pre-K.
I remember you specifically from when you were singing Since You've Been Gone on that table. I don't know. We were about to go to lunch, and then randomly you hear somebody, "Since you've been gone, I can't breathe." And then you got to the high note and you didn't hit it, and you were like, you started crying.
Yeah, I love him, but he's kind of a fucking liar. He knew that I was trying to get my foot in the door with filmmaking. At the same time, he was putting out his project, Abnormal Hues. That's when it clicked. We were gonna shoot a music video. It took me about a week to dissect the song bar for bar, think of some visual storytelling elements that tie to those lyrics, and then try to come up with some creative transitions to keep the shots rolling and come up with like an overarching story. The finished product was a storyboard that I finished on my iPad. It was not pretty, but it got you an idea of shot for shot what we wanted to get, and it was exactly what Jordan said he wanted, so we were ready to shoot. Our first shoot day was very run and gun. The location was mostly made out of concrete, and the idea was for most of the shots to be very simple, so he just popped out on a clean canvas. We ran through this area and just got a bunch of performance shots. The second shoot day was in a small studio nearby. For this day, we only had about 3 hours, so we really needed to make it count. This was supposed to be our nightclub scene. The idea of this shot was to have him partying in this crowded nightclub. The problem was our studio was about 15 by 15 foot, and we had about 6 to 8 volunteers. So how are we gonna make this look busy? I'm about to piss off some graphic designers, but my grand idea was negative space. All jokes aside, this explanation is not in the script, so if I'm wrong, please comment down below. But my basic understanding of what negative space is using the absence of something to make it look like something is there. So how does this relate to my video? Instead of having it actually be busy, because we were expecting more people, the spotlight was on Jordan and the room was completely pitch black. What I would do is have some of the volunteers crowded in front of him and around him so that when you see them jumping around, their shadows in front of Jordan allow you to allude that it's busy without actually having to see physical people out in this crowd. Was this a perfect idea? Absolutely not. When it was our time, it was time to go. We went up until the last minute, and we made sure to use every second to get our shots. Finally, our third shoot day was back in the studio, and it was just to wrap up the last shots we needed. This was our tightest time frame yet, but we really just needed a few shots. These shots were kind of pivotal to the story we were trying to tell, so I felt like it was necessary to go back and get these done. Now I finally had all my shots, so the easy part is just to edit, right? Right? The fact that I have to say it a third time makes me feel like it's not a good... This shit made my hairline recede a ½ inch. Since this was my first time with a big filmmaking project, there was so much more footage than I was used to. That made it so much harder to visualize where I even needed to start. And that's where I made a big mistake. I started to cut out segments with no idea in mind as to how to transition them. So even though the shots would look good visually, they just flowed like shit. The continuity was bad. It overall looked unprofessional and lazy with jump cuts everywhere. At this point, I was about halfway to my deadline, and I needed to make a really hard choice. I either settle for lesser quality or I need to restart my edit. So, oh boy, did I. I went on YouTube. I started watching resources on like how to become good at Premiere Pro, just learning like basic shortcuts and workflows and things that just made it easier to edit. And I took some time even just learning like basic composition skills in After Effects, things that I should have done at the start. As much of a gut punch as this was, it was crucial for this video to come out on time. Part of the problem is that I wanted this video to come out perfect with no flaws, no issues. And I think I slowly had to realize that I was given the perfect opportunity to just be creative and learn. I didn't have a strict guideline or directive going into this. They trusted me, so I needed to trust myself and do my due diligence, because at this point, I was the only reason that this video wasn't coming out. So in a couple of weeks, I finally did it. Finally, the culmination of a summer of planning, shooting, and editing led to this very moment. I honestly couldn't believe I finished it. There was so much hesitation before hitting send, just feeling like, nah, there's something else I can fix. There's something else I need to do. But just finally being okay with hitting send put so much of that weight off of my chest and just out in the air. Was it perfect? No. Was it the best effort that I tried to put out? I can honestly say yes. In hindsight, it's been a year since this idea was conceived, and I would like to look back at this as a way to be constructive and criticize what I did wrong, what I could do better in the future, and what I've already done since then to improve my filmmaking and video editing. I was so happy with the work that I got to do with a childhood friend of mine. And at the end of the day, I think that's really all that mattered to me. And I can't wait to work with him again soon. So stay tuned.
So it's been doing really well. It got like the first 3,000 or 4,000 in the first week, which blew my mind. I mean, I did advertise it and everything to try to get it in front of more people. I just didn't think that many people would actually like sit through it and watch it. So that was amazing. Yeah. Go stream up Normal Hues. It's on everything. Be on the lookout for maybe something new from Colin and I, maybe. And also be on the lookout for new music. There might be maybe a single or something dropping before the whole project. Maybe. Go watch a Shake video. Stream Shake, stream Abnormal Hues.
And that was my story time for today. This is definitely the longest video I've shot, so if you made it to the end, let me know what you think and what I could do better next time. If you'd like to see how the video came out, you can hit that eye above your head, or you can check down in the description below. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.